Controversial meeting. People in Orem cry for more transparency after council members approve Utopia funding without a public hearing.
Juvenile justice. New programs are helping, but will the legislature continue to fund them?
And required testing. Lawmakers are pushing to make taking the ACT mandatory for all high school students. I'm Alexis Flake.
And I'm Julianne Horsley. It's Thursday, February 28th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
We have some breaking news. A Provo elementary school is on lockdown this afternoon because of a bomb threat. Provo police say Edgemont Elementary got 2 phone calls this morning where the caller threatened to blow up the school. Police are working with CenturyLink to track the phone number. A bomb squad and 3 K-9 units are making sweeps of the school. The children are still locked down inside. We're working this story and we'll have more details as they come.
People in Orem say they're upset after the city council committed another $24 million to Utopia without discussing it with them. At this city council meeting, Orem leaders gave verbal consent to more funding for the fiber optic internet project, but they didn't let the public speak. That could be against state law. The city administrator says the council doesn't need a formal hearing since voters approved the project back in 2010. An early morning fire leaves an Orem family without a home. Orem police say the fire started shortly after 6 this morning at 973 South and 190 West. Police have not determined the cause of the fire, but say a candle in one of the bedrooms may have started the blaze. The family of 4 adults and 4 children evacuated safely, but the home is a complete loss.
New numbers show fewer Utah kids are being locked up in juvie, but officials say budget cuts may mean it won't stay that way. The report shows a 31% drop in juvie jail time since 2000, but officials say funding cuts are coming. Programs on the chopping block include Cedar City and Blandings Youth Services. Juvenile justice officials say because of the cuts, we may see the downward trend reverse. Having the talk with your kids may have just gotten easier. The state Senate passed a bill that would create a sex education website with tools to help parents and students learn online. Opponents say it opens too much access to adult content for kids, while others say it is more informative than other places on the web. The bill will now go to the House.
A new Utah bill is headed to the House that will require high schools to administer the ACT to all juniors who want it. 11 News reporter Natalie Palmer went to Provo High to find out if and when this might be happening.
School administrators say next year is when the changes would come into effect for high schools statewide. Provo High librarian Mark Baker is working around the clock getting ready to give the ACT to juniors next Tuesday.
This will be on a Tuesday. It'll be done instead of school on that day. Students will not be going to any classes. It starts first thing in the morning, and that's what they do, is just test.
Baker says the students are preparing for the ACT as early as freshman year, which helps them to score higher come junior year. This is all part of a pilot program for administering tests like the ACT to high school juniors. Right now, students go off campus and pay to take these standardized tests. The state wanted to see if allowing them to take it during school would be worth the money. Utah legislators say the bill would cost $850,000 each year.
So this way we feel like we're giving all of our students the opportunity to take the test, and then maybe some kids who hadn't thought about going to college before will get those tests back and say, oh, do you know what, I can do this. I think I can do this. And
teachers will be proctors and will give the test at school during school hours. They have a training class the day before the test so they can learn the guidelines and rules for proctoring. The Utah Senate passed the bill this morning, and it's now on its way to the House for consideration. High schoolers can opt out if they want to, but last year only 4 out of Provo High's 1,700 students chose not to take the test. Alexis?
2 Provo men are in police custody today, charged in connection with a series of 9 burglaries in 6 months. Police say Austin Warden and Travis Draper were selling stolen jewelry. An officer and a dog followed Warden's footprints back to his home after a recent burglary and identified 15 stolen items. Draper faces 10 counts of possession of stolen property and theft by deception. Warden faces 5.
3 Salt Lake City men are facing charges after a drug bust involving $500,000 worth of meth. The DEA says they followed a lead about a drug trade and found Gilbert Flores, Michael Christopher Martinez, and Anthony Alexander Marquez selling 2 suitcases full of meth to a confidential source. The 3 men are facing a minimum of 10 years in prison. Police are looking for a woman they say used fake diamonds to swindle thousands of dollars. West Valley City Police surveillance photos show a woman tricking a shopper into paying her $5,000. She promised a $14,000 return for a fake diamond. A second woman may be involved in a similar incident in Orem earlier this month. She convinced a shopper to withdraw $8,000 from her bank account.
With 16 cases where a vehicle struck a Utah patrolman since January, the UHP is taking action. Troopers will place pink signs that say "slow down, crash ahead" on their patrol cars from now on. But the Highway Patrol says that cautious driving is the best solution, and Utah drivers just need to slow down. These 16 hits are more than happened in all of 2012.
111 News at Noon returns. Mountains of meth. Australian authorities seize a monster load of the illegal drug.
And farewell to the Pope. History is in the making at the Vatican as Pope Benedict XVI steps down. Stay with us.
A mountain of meth discovered down under. China lifts anchor on its first aircraft carrier, and U.S. money will go to the Syrian opposition. Here's your look at news from around the world. Australian authorities carried out a record drug bust, more than half a ton of meth. Officials found the stash worth $450 million hidden in a shipment of cleaning products from China. Authorities already arrested 3 men in connection to the record find and say they expect more arrests. China's first aircraft carrier set sail from a military port in the Pacific. Leaders say the anchoring shows the last 4 years of construction has paid off. China's military launched planes to do weapons system checks during flight. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Heavy fog cut visibility to less than a football field. And the United States will provide an additional $60 million to support opposition groups in Syria. Secretary of State John Kerry made the announcement after meeting Syria's National Opposition Coalition leader in Rome. The aid will help local communities in liberated areas and expand the delivery of basic goods and services. And that's your look at news from around the world. Alexis?
History is unfolding at this hour in Vatican City. Pope Benedict XVI is in the final hours of his tenure. He will step down at the end of the day, marking the end of his nearly 8-year run as the leader of the Catholic faith and its 1.2 billion followers. Elizabeth Corden brings us the story from his final farewell.
Pope Benedict XVI greeting the Catholic cardinals as pontiff for one final time.
Personally, I would like to say that I will continue to serve you in prayer.
Before he retreats into retirement, the Pope met with each cardinal in attendance individually. They're sending him off with thanks for his service and best wishes for his future.
Holy Father, you should know that our heart was burning too when we walked with you during the last 8 years, and once again we want to express to you all our gratitude.
The Pope is marking this day with little pomp or circumstance, but it is no less historic. Benedict XVI is the first leader of the Catholic faith to resign in 6 centuries. By the end of the day, he'll be at his temporary new home, Castel Gandolfo, with his new title, Pope Emeritus. A permanent residence is being prepared for him at the Vatican. The cardinals who have flocked to Rome for this final farewell will soon enter conclave, where they will elect the next pope.
I promise my obedience and respect for the next pope.
Along with the prestige that comes with the title of Pope, Benedict's successor will also inherit challenges, anger, and wavering support in the wake of an ongoing clergy sex abuse scandal. But for now, when the clock strikes 8 tonight in Rome, Benedict XVI will be officially retired, and there will be no pope in residence at the Vatican. I'm Elizabeth Corden reporting.
Don't expect to see any puffs of smoke from the Sistine Chapel anytime soon. The Catholic News Service reports that the date of the conclave will not be set until after March 4th.
Well, as I was leaving my house, I was putting on my winter coat, and probably many of you at home, when you walked outside, you realized, oh my goodness, I think it might be spring. It was such a beautiful day.
It was wonderful.
And it's a beautiful day outside, Elizabeth.
That's right, Julianne. Now is the time to really get out those sunglasses. It is gorgeous outside and the sun is shining. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is snow in the forecast. Your 11 News weather when we Taking a look outside, we have Mount Timpanogos, and it really is an absolutely gorgeous day. The sun is out, the clouds are moving across the sky, and it's beautiful, especially after so many days of cloudy and snowstormy weather. Currently right now, we're at about 21 degrees, humidity about 68%, which is a lot lower than we've been seeing the last few days, and wind speed at about 6 miles per hour, which is creating about 13-degree wind chill. But you know, out in the sun, it feels so much warmer than 21 degrees. What to expect tonight? Expect temperatures in the 20s, about 26 degrees, cloudy, and a sunset just after 6 o'clock. But you know what? No worries for snow flurries coming our way. You can just wake up and not have to worry about scraping off that windshield. Highs across the state today, what to expect? We have about 30s and low 40s just about everywhere, but Vernal's coming in at our low at about 29 degrees and St. George at 60. You know, the spring weather really is starting to slowly come in. Temperatures are starting to rise and it's starting to look a lot more beautiful outside. Southern 5-day forecast, what to expect. We have clouds and sun really all week long. It looks beautiful. Sunday is a little bit cloudier, but you know what? It's even worse up in northern Utah. Northern Utah 5-day forecast, what to expect. We have sun and clouds really all week long except for Sunday. Don't shoot the messenger, folks, but we might have snow. It's about a 60% chance of snow, maybe even some freezing rain, so really be careful for that. But you know, 47 degrees, a low at 32 on Saturday. It's looking so much more beautiful than it has been the last few weeks here.
It definitely is. I'm so excited that it's warming up. I can feel it in my mood. Spring is coming. I'm just so much happier.
Well, I am definitely feeling the spring fever. I mean, I'm rolling up my sleeves to 3/4, and I don't care if it's snowing. I'm bringing out those flip-flops.
Yes, it's so great to wake up to sun through the window, except usually we've been waking up to a lot of fog outside, so it's been great.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The number 2 team in college basketball is coming to play the Cougars today.
Yes, I haven't been this excited since Jimmer was playing on our home court.
Brady, do you think that the Cougars can pull off a win against Gonzaga?
Well, you know, historically speaking, BYU's not so good against number 2. They're only 2-8 lifetime. But you know what? It's in Provo, and anything can happen. Next on sports, home sweet home. BYU may not be the best in the West, but they tighten up their game with help from the Cougar faithful. And friendly foe. We brought in the big guns from Spokane to talk a little basketball. We'll have analysis on tonight's game when we come back. The Cougars will be in a dogfight tonight with the highest ranked team to ever play in the Marriott Center. Their chances may seem slim against Gonzaga. The Cougs have dropped 8 of their last 9 against ranked opponents. But it's been a weird season for college hoops, and as 11 sports reporter Mark Chalice shows us, nothing's impossible when the Cougars play at home.
So far, Coach Dave Rose is satisfied with the service at his very own Marriott. It lacks fluff pillows and white bathrobes, but the Marriott Center is well stocked with screaming fans and a lot of W's. The home court advantage in college basketball is often the strongest of any sport, and few arenas are as friendly as a Marriott Center is for Dave Rose.
Well, I think that the crowd is a big factor in any game.
With how strong his teams have been in Provo, it's only fitting that Rose's 200th career win happened on his home court. The Cougars beat San Diego at home last month to get Coach Rose to the career milestone. Winning at home is a big part of his strategy for success.
You know, the important thing is that you play well. We got to come in and get the crowd excited.
With that key to the game, Rose's teams are 117-10 at home. Tonight, his Cougars have a new opportunity. With Gonzaga in the house, we're playing the highest-ranked team to ever face BYU in the Marriott Center. And the importance isn't lost on the players.
It's the best team, you know, we've ever had in here, and you know, it means a lot. There's a lot, you know, riding on it for them and us.
The Zags are playing for their first ever #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Coach Rose and the Cougars have other ideas, hoping to cement their season in BYU history by beating the Zags and establishing the Marriott Center as one of the best home court advantages in basketball. The last time the Cougars beat a top 10 team in the Marriott Center was in 2011 against San Diego State. That, of course, was the year of the Jimmer. Brady?
Well, it's safe to say Spokane has itself a ball team. The Zags already have a school record 27 regular season wins and would clinch the WCC title outright with another win tonight. Gonzaga is riding a 10-game win streak into Provo that started January 24th with a win over the Cougs. In that game, Tyler Haws only squeaked out one little measly point on 0 for 9 shooting. That's not good. You know what else isn't good? When Josh Sharp is your leading scorer. Dude gets less than 5 points per game, but tied with Brandon Davies for a team-high 14 against the Zags. BYU is 2-4 all-time versus Gonzaga and has dropped its last 3 against the Bulldogs. Tip-off will be tonight at 9 on ESPN2. Well, the basketball players aren't the only Zags to make the trip out to Provo today. We are honored to have GUTV sports anchor Greg Talbot here with us, all the way from Spokane, Washington. He's live in our newsroom. Greg, you ready to talk hoops?
Happy to be here, Brady. Let's do it, man.
All right, well, let's get to it. Greg, since you're the visiting team, I will let you go first. What does Gonzaga need to do to avoid the upset tonight?
I'll tell you, Brady, on offense, it comes down really to one player and one player only for the Bulldogs, and that is their center, Kelly Olynyk. He has been playing out of his mind in the West Coast Conference this season, averaging just about 20 points a game, and BYU, or really every other team in the country for that matter, doesn't really have anybody that can contain him down low. But even more importantly than that, the Zags need to contain the three. The Cougars, one of the best outside shooting teams in the conference, right up there with St. Mary's, and Gary Bell Jr., Kevin Bangos, and the rest of the Bulldogs guards have had a lot of trouble historically, and especially this year, guarding the perimeter. So Olynyk needs to go off down low for the Bulldogs, and the Zags need to defend the three.
All right, well, that's fair enough. I guess it's my turn now. I think the biggest thing for the Cougs tonight will be minimizing mistakes. And by minimizing, I mean completely eliminating, because that is the only way to pull off a big upset. BYU has to step out on Kevin Pangos. He torched the Cougs with 4 threes in Spokane. And if Coach Rose wants to play zone defense, his players have got to rotate or they'll keep getting burned from outside. Also, Elias Harris and Kelly Olynyk combined for 51 points last time. So Brandon Davies is going to have to play like a man, draw some fouls, push those guys out of the paint.
I got to tell you, Brady, that sounds like kind of a laundry list of things the Cougars need to do to beat the Zags tonight.
You know what? I'm not too worried because at least I know the fans are going to bring their A game. And let's be honest, our arena could probably eat yours.
Oh, hold on there, Brady. Actually, you know what? No. I'm sorry. I gave up insulting unranked teams for Lent, so continue.
Oh, excuse me. Well, it's all fun and games.
Sorry, man. It's all
having
good.
Fun, no hard feelings, right? Well, Greg Talbot, we'll see you tomorrow on CougTube. Good luck to you.
Looking forward to it. Good job, Brady.
There's no bigger stage in basketball than Madison Square Garden, and you know what they say, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Well, Golden State guard Steph Curry definitely made it last night. In fact, he made it over and over again. Curry was in an Empire state of mind all night, hitting 11 of 13 from downtown. Here he is from the top of the key. Knicks coach Mike Woodson not impressed. Now, this shot off the inbound looks like a heat check to me, part of a 54-point effort as the Knicks would pull this one out. But Curry's historic night put him in pretty good company. His 54 points were the third most by a Knicks opponent at the current Madison Square Garden. Now, you may have heard of the other guys on this list: Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. And I'd feel guilty if I didn't show you the most disrespectful dunk of the day. Louisville at the Paul, Shane Bohannon steals the pass from the Blue Demons and exercised some demons. Officials originally ruled it a charge, but after watching the tape, it is clear to see the defender's feet in the restricted area. Louisville gets the throwdown and the win. Now, some sad news out of the University of Utah. The Daily Utah Chronicle is reporting that the Utah's head swim coach has been suspended following allegations of sexual abuse on one of the swim members.
Oh, that is too bad.
That's not something you want to hear.
Of course not. Thanks, Brady. Still to come on 11 News at noon. Royal Charity. Prince Harry uses his language skills to sign with children in Africa. We'll be right back.
Prince Harry is using his language skills to play a hands-on part in his charity this week. The prince is in Lesotho, where he has made visits to a center for the deaf and a school for the visually impaired children, where he wrote, sang, and even cooked with them. The prince founded his charity in 2006, and he says it's his goal to help vulnerable children in local communities. It is named Sentabale in honor of his late mother, Princess Diana. Sentabale means forget-me-not in Lesotho.
The man is a jack of all trades.
He really is.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed.
it's so wonderful to see things like that happening.
It is.
I wish I was with those children going like this with Prince Harry.
That's 11 News at noon for Thursday, February 28th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.